Welcome back. In this video, we are going to break down 4 things that appear everywhere in SAP CPI: XML, XPath, XSLT, and XSD. If you are new to integrations, these terms may be a bit confusing at first, but once you learn how they are related to each other, you get comfortable working with them. Understanding the structure of XML is very important for CPI developers. Let me show you a sample XML file first. So this is a sample XML. Here it contains details of a book. Just have a look at this payload. You can clearly see that it has details of a book like the name of the book, author's name, price details, stock availability details, all right. So that is the whole point of XML, to represent the data in a clean, structured way. Nothing more than that. So if I ask you what is the price of the book, you can look at this data and say 100, right? It is easy. And if I ask you what is the published date of that book, you can say 2025-0101, right? So this is how we store data using XML. So there are a couple of terms we need to remember. These are all called as nodes or elements. So every XML document should have one root tag or root node. So in our case, book is the root node, and all these elements or all these nodes are called as child nodes. And every node should have a closing tag, should have a dedicated closing tag associated with it. So if you observe, book also has a closing tag, right? And name also has a closing tag. Discount also has a closing tag. So anything written inside these tags are called as the values. So the name value for this XML is SAP CPI course. The price value of this XML is 100, right? So that's how we store data using XML. If you observe, stock also has couple of child nodes, right? So XML follows a tree-like structure. We have parent nodes at the top level, and then child nodes on grandchild nodes, etc., right? So, and one more thing is, all these nodes are not predefined. So that is the power of XML. We can create our own tag names based on the data we are sharing. So that's it about the XML. Let's get back to our slides. So XML stands for Extensible Markup Language, and the whole purpose of XML is to store and transport data. And like we discussed, XML tags are not predefined, unlike HTML. And there are some rules we have to keep in our mind when creating an XML file or handling an XML file. So XML documents must contain one root tag. So, and all nodes must have a closing tag. If you observe, stock doesn't have a dedicated closing tag in this example, right? So these are called as self-closing tags. It simply means that it doesn't have any values, it has null value stored in that node. Okay, and node names shouldn't contain spaces. So this is a very important rule. So since these tag names are not predefined, we can write our own names, right? And those names shouldn't contain spaces. So spaces are not allowed while defining the tag names. Now let's look at the XPath. So XPath is used to navigate through XML elements. So this is a very important concept, since all the routing conditions and all the filter conditions in CPA are written using this XPath. So this is a very simple structure. We can easily grasp an idea about it. So XPath contains a library of standard functions. There are more than 100 functions available. So we will discuss them when time comes, and it can be used to select nodes and node sets. I'll show you an example. So in this example, in this XML payload, if I want to select the price, select the price value of this book, I can simply write /book/price. So this XPath will give the value of 100. So simple. So if I want the sold out value, I will go to book slash stock slash sold out. So these are case sensitive. We have to write the names, node names as it is, right? So this will give me the value of 5, right? Simple. And if I want to, this is called as relative path, relative XPath. And there is another way to write the same XPath. We can simply write double slashes sold out. And this also gives us the value 5. So this is called as absolute path. So this is how we write XPath. So it is used to select the nodes and node sets as well. If I write just book slash stock, then this will return the all these 3 child nodes of that stock element. Okay, this is how we select the nodes and node sets using XPath. Now let's discuss about XML namespaces. Let me show you another XML file. So this is another XML file. So it has details of a company like the employee details and intern details. If I use the XPath to get the name value, if I give double colon slash name, will this give me value Suresh or Ramesh? So we have a name tag 2 times. So since these tags are not predefined, we can create our own tags, right, in the XML. So there might arise a confusion when 2 tag names or 2 node names have a similar or same name. So in this example, we have name node couple of times, 2 times, right? So this will arise this confusion. So to solve this confusion, XML namespaces were invented. So I'll show you the same document written using a namespace. So this is the same document written with including the namespaces. Here you can see it is clear that the name tag belongs to employee. This name tag belongs to employee and this name tag belongs to interns. So how we declare XML namespaces is in the root tag. This is one way. In the root tag, we have to give XML. NS stands for namespace. XML NS colon the prefix we want to use. We can give anything we want. And here I have given EMP to indicate employee, EMP equal to, and one URI address. So this may not to be a working website. We can give any random name just to ensure the uniqueness of this namespace. And using double quotes, we write the URI. And same we declare for the INT for interns as well, XMLNS colon INT and the unique URI. We have to give this prefix, this namespace prefix for every node, right? So for employee, EMP colon employee, and for interns, for interns, INT intern. So this will avoid the confusion with names, with same names. So this is how we write XML namespaces. Don't get confused. In CPI, you will see these namespaces everywhere. So don't get confused. These are placed just to ensure or just to avoid naming conflicts. That's it. Now let's discuss about XSLT. Extensible Style Sheet Language Transformations. It is used to transform XML payloads from one structure to another structure. So it is one of the mapping component available in CPI, and it heavily relies on XPath. So understanding how XPaths work is very important, not only in CPI but while writing the XSLT logics as well. And there are many functions in XSLT, built-in functions for string values, numeric values, date and time comparisons, node manipulations, sortings and more. We will be having a dedicated set of videos for XSLT where I'll teach from very basics to advanced XSLT. in the upcoming future videos. So let's say there is one input XML and I want the output to be in this format. The output should contain only full name and age. In the input, we have employee details like the first name, last name, designation, etc. So my requirement is in the output file for full name, I have to combine the first name and last name. So the full name is a combination of first name and last name, and age is just the value of the age. So I can write a simple XSLT like this using the method concat, and I can combine the first name and the last name, and while I'm using XPaths, I can just pick the value of age. So this is how we write XSLT. I'll explain the terms, the style sheet, template, match, etc. all these terms in the upcoming videos. So that is the purpose of XSLT, to transform one input structure to the required output structure. And finally, XSD. XSD stands for XML schema definition. So this schema describes the structure of our XML document. So it defines the elements that can appear in our XML documents and the data types for these elements and how many times this element can appear and which order this element can appear. So this document defines our structure, our XML structure. And this is a sample XSD. So here you can see we have defined every element name and what is the data type of that element, like string, int, unassigned, short, etc. And we can also define how many times these elements can appear, how many, what is the order of the elements. So everything we can define in this XSD document. So to summarize this video, XML is the data structure we use to store our data and share our data. And XPath is how we select and navigate through that XML document, right? And XSLT is how we transform the data from one XML structure to another XML structure. And finally, the XSD is our blueprint for the XML document. I hope you understand all these 4 elements, and the XML namespace is used to avoid the naming conflicts, right? So that's it in this video. We will dive deep in the next upcoming videos. See you soon.